Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Please like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Leave a donation for fried rice and chicken wings. And let's understand something. Alexander Usyk has been dropping hints, emotional hints, strategic hints, and in his most recent interviews, very direct hints that suggest he's nearing excuse me, that he's nearing the end of his legendary boxing journey. And I think this really matters because the same way Usyk, when he was really working on his English, and you say, Usyk, how are you doing? He said, I am filled. Now my man is saying, I'm done. That's what he's suggesting, people. Now, he's not officially retired because he's fighting Dubois. A fight I think Usyk's going to lose. But I put it to you this way. If you ask me, not Hood Champion, but who I am, who do you think wins this fight? I'm going to tell you Usyk. I'm going to tell you Usyk. I just, when you look at it, what he's accomplished, what he's done, momentum he has going, high IQ, skill level, he has power. Dubois is not that much bigger than him. I just think Usyk is the guy who should win the fight. But now, as far as Hood Champion, who likes to think a little deeper, opposed to just having knee-jerk responses, right? I'm going to look at how much, well, I'm going to cover it all in this video, but I'll just say the toll the fights have taken on Usyk physically, and as far as Dubois, what he's gone through in the ring, and who's confident, who should be exuding confidence at this point in their career. And when I look at that, I think Dubois should be exuding confidence, and I think he can bring that into the ring, and that's why I'm picking him for the upset. But if you ask me, not the Hood Champion guy who does his boxing talk, now I would tell you, I would pick Usyk. I put my money on Usyk. But you're not getting him, you're getting Hood Champion, so it is what it is. Some fans don't want to hear that Usyk is talking about hanging up his gloves. But there's a lot of things that he's endured, man. I think people need to understand what this man has gone through. You know what I'm saying? Let's just talk about the war in Ukraine. You know, sometimes we can fail to acknowledge what's really going on in these fighters' personal lives. We can't know everything that's going on. For like Usyk, Lomachenko, I truly believe if the war had never been initiated, I think Vladimir Klitschko would have returned. I think Lomachenko would still be fighting. And I think that even Usyk wouldn't be talking about retirement. But just war, displacement, that's horrible, man. Russia invading Ukraine, 2022. Usyk went and joined the territorial defense forces, basically going on active duty to fight the war. Then he was encouraged by his fellow Ukrainians to, hey, go and train, go back to fighting, represent the country. And that's exactly what he did. Return to training abroad because he had to. There was no sparring partner. Like, he did not want to leave Ukraine. There were no sparring partners who wanted to come out there, man, which is understandable. Who the hell would want to go to Kiev when the Russians are out there bombing everything out there in Ukraine, in particular targeting Kiev? You know what I'm saying? But as a result, he decided to continue his boxing career because he couldn't continue it in Ukraine. He's been traveling, constant travel. This man has 4 kids and a wife. The wife supports him, but with that constant travel, and he's been very active. I mean, even before the war, he fought almost all of his major fights on foreign soil, you know what I'm saying? And we understand with him, he wants to have a fight in Ukraine before he retires. But I mean, the reality of that happening is what? You know what I mean? Fighting in Saudi Arabia, Poland, the UK. He's been forced, although he's a special fighter, to take on opponents in their own backyards. And he deep down really wants to come home and fight, but it's more than likely not going to happen. So what do you think about what that does to you and the type of stress and it can cause you mentally, physically? Let's just understand that physical aspect at age 38 and the toll all of the training has taken on him, all of the stress, spiritually, emotionally, physically, mentally. You just have to think, man, that a smart man would walk away from the sport right now. That's what Usyk's looking to do. He's fought 23 professional bouts and countless amateur ones. You know what I'm saying? This man has been out here putting in work for a long, long time. And you see that grind at the heavyweight division. And for him, it's not easy for him to maintain weight. You guys know Usyk really has to eat a lot to try to maintain weight so he can compete as a heavyweight. It's wearing the man down. You listen to his interviews, he sounds more subdued. He's not out here talking about greedy belly, making jokes, laughing, dancing. He's not doing that. If you watch Usyk's energy, it's not the same Usyk. People don't, he's always quiet. He's a silent assassin. No, Usyk has a very colorful personality, and it shows up during fight week. Nothing's showing up for Usyk except, I am done. I'm tired of this bull crap. And for those of you like, hood champion, here you go, you put in work. No, hey, I'm good for coming up with some bullshit. But even he said, I feel like I have 2 more fights to prepare, nothing more. Man, when you start talking like that, you know it's over. He doesn't want to do it, man. But it makes you wonder about what agreements and legal commitments he has to Turki Al-Sheikh as a result of taking certain fights and becoming a champion and undisputed. They took one title from him. Dubois has it. He has a chance to win back the title no one ever beat him for. But who knows what legal obligations he has to Saudi. But in February 2025, he said, look, I only have a couple more fights, but nothing more. He doesn't want to do it. This fighting in Ukraine before he retires, look, man, we know he's got national pride, but I don't think he's going to get that. Going back down to cruiserweight, I don't think that's even on the table anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's just, for Usyk, certain things he's not going to get and certain things he's not going to get back. And one thing for sure is all the things he's missed with his children. You know what I mean? Missing birthdays, missing seeing his babies take first steps. The child's first word is mama, not daddy, not papa, not baba. You know what I mean? This shit affects Usyk, man. But why should he continue fighting? The man's gold medalist, 2-time undisputed, 2 different weight divisions, could become a 3-time undisputed if he beats Daniel Dubois. I mean, what's the motivation? There's nothing left for him to prove. Usyk is the truth. So don't get it twisted because I feel Dubois is going to win. I'm telling you, Usyk and Dubois, who's the overall better fighter, that's not even a conversation. It's Usyk. But everything he has going on and the way he's talking, I mean, he's been pretty consistent across interviews, man, about only having a couple fights left and wanting to retire and shit like that. He's not changing his tune. And he's not even interested in messing with Tyson Fury for a third fight. A third fight with Tyson Fury, Usyk could probably make $200 million. But Usyk is the same guy who chose not to get a Rolls Royce because it's an expensive car, and he chose to make sure, although he could probably buy, 1 million of them, He chose not to do that. He has a wife, he has kids. His focus is more on being there for his family and education and developing good human beings to go out into the world and contribute. He's not worried about the being showy and lavish and all that other shit. He's not worried about that. He has nothing to prove. He's a humble dude, man. But I just think with his legacy being cemented, but that emotional weight of war, age, and a desire for closure, I think those are just signs that he's preparing for his final chapter. And the thing is, Daniel Dubois wants to make sure that, he helps him get through that final chapter this weekend in a loss. Now, it's not going to be easy for Dubois to beat Usyk. We all know that. But I just think if there's any other time for a guy like Dubois to get a win against Usyk, it's this weekend. All the signs are there that Usyk is almost like he just wants somebody to close the book for him. It's like before I retired from the military. I wanted to retire, but it took a situation that I ended up in that forced me to be like, just go ahead and bounce. And I was glad that happened. There was some uncertainty. I was a little bit worried. I'm retired. I've been doing this for 25 years. Money, this, that, even though I was okay, it's like, okay. But, once it happens, the best thing ever done. And I think for Usyk, he may be kind of getting caught up in that. I had 4 kids. He has 4 kids. Without getting too in deep about my shit, I understand. It doesn't matter the financial status between two individuals. We may have different status in life, but we share the same dignity. And when your focus is family, it doesn't matter how much money you have. You guys have that common thread. And that was the thing with me. And I'm watching Usyk. I'm talking from experience. I'm like, yo, this isn't good. You can't be that effective when you don't want to do it anymore. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't want to put the gloves on anymore. I didn't want to put on the fucking uniform. You just get to a point where you're like, I'm tired. And my boy is tired, man. Man misses son's birthday, daughter's birthday. From boxing, he ended up not getting back in time to see his dad before his dad passed. Got the war. There's a lot on his mind, man. He sacrificed a lot. All the dates and stuff, important dates of his family, and it's just taking a toll on him. You know what I'm saying? Then this thing with the war. Could you imagine your kids coming to you asking you, hey, Daddy, why does so-and-so want to kill us? So when he's not with his family, he brings all that shit with him. You can't leave your mind behind. He worries, he's stressing. You may see him smile and everything from time to, before, he's not smiling at all now. But before, you could just see that. You just know there's shit on his mind. It's a really unfortunate situation. But anyway, he's choosing family over fame, and he's done more than what was needed to ensure his children, his grandchildren, his great-grandchildren, his great-great-grandchildren, his great-great-great-grandchildren are A-OK. They can look back and look at the next few generations and be like, yo, my great-great-great-great-grandfather, we're all benefiting from that man's sacrifices. And that's to be commended, man. So anyway, big up to Alexander Usyk. I think he has a tough fight ahead of him this weekend. But it seems like the biggest fight for Usyk, in my opinion, is just that fight with himself. And maybe a part of him really wanting to continue with his career, but just knowing that it's time. Even me, I've been retired 6, almost 7 years. Like today, I felt a little bit like, man, instead of me focusing on my small business and also starting up the side hustle, washing windows in residential areas, charging like $250 to $500 a house, do 2 houses a day, 5 days a week. In addition to me being retired, that's pretty good dirt money, But then it's like, if I ain't committed to it, some days I don't want to do that shit. And I can look at him and see that he's going through something similar. I ain't saying we're the exact same, but I understand that. I got 4 boys and my wife. She's a nurse. She's out here doing her thing. It's trying to balance your personal welfare and your personal morale with the mission of being a boxer. That shit is difficult, man. And for so many years, he's put the mission of being a boxer before his personal welfare and his family. Because he had to. If not, now he's in violation of whatever legal commitments he has, so he can't come out there and play with that. But now it looks like he's about to be able to take a deep breath and breathe and get some of that shit off his shoulders. And I don't think he wants to go back into that. And that's why the Tyson Fury fight, he's like, I'm not dealing with that. Even if he beats Dubois, I don't think he really wants to go fight Parker. I think he may mess around and just drop all the belts and just make it a free fall. I'm done, here are the belts, and just have all these heavyweights out there, the Wardys, the Thomas, maybe Deontay slides in. Eddie Hearn gonna find a way to worm Anthony Joshua's ass in the mix. Chisora definitely gonna try to get his hand on the belt. Everybody gonna, Zhang, Ajit Cavill, all the heavyweights are gonna be there trying to pick up those belts. Anyway, Mr. I Am Field, he ain't talking that shit no more. He's more, I am done. And this is good for Daniel Dubois, the great black shark, if he can capitalize. But it's also good for Usyk. Man, just go on out here, do your thing. If you win, good. If you don't, who gives a shit? Go ahead and retire and chill with your family. That's the best thing to do, in my opinion. Y'all keep cool. I'm in the breeze.